facilities that we have. We will go to the beach and pool and play some beach and pool games. We're going to do some training on the first day. We'll do some team building stuff, and then in the evening we'll have an activity, whether that be bowling or something like that. And so the first day will be sort of acclimatizing, getting over the travel, having a chance to sort of settle into their teams, do some training, and just experience being abroad as a community, to be honest with you. And then after that, that's when the tour sorts of goes full swing and gets pretty full on. So once we hit day 3, we'll be doing, in the morning, going and doing water sports. So they have different options. It's kayaking, paddle boarding, those sort of things. So they'll be over at the sea centre for a few hours in the morning. We'll then come back, have lunch in the afternoon, and then go off and play our first fixtures against overseas opposition. We try to, before going, we tell them what sort of strength we are, and they try to gauge it, and we get balanced teams and play oppositions. Now, sometimes that goes wrong. I've been over there and lost 20-0 on one tour and also won 20-0, so it is difficult, but we do try to get it right, and then most of the time we have had some amazing games. And I've got to say, when we went to Lisbon a few years ago, we played football at one of the most amazing facilities, playing on a pitch which overlooked the sea. The view was incredible, and it was going just for that. Was worth going just for that, to be honest with you. So we'd have played opposition overseas on that afternoon, and then when we come back, we'll be doing some more evening activities. Might be a movie night or a quiz night, something like that. Then day 4 is another morning of the water sports. So whatever rotation they did the first day, they'll rotate and do the second day. And then in the afternoon, we will be going down to the beach, doing some surfing, some training, some team building exercises, doing some different things down there. And then in the evening, that is the night that we're going to go bowling and have a massive tournament down there. Day 5, we will go to the Olympic Village and have a look around the sites in Barcelona, and then we'll come back and play another round of afternoon matches, and then in the evening we'll have an awards evening to give different prizes for different things. And then on day 6 we will be going to a water park all day, and hopefully they'll be absolutely all exhausted, and then we'll be travelling home later on that evening, overnight, coming back to school on the 7th day, which is the Sunday, and be back sort of early afternoonish. So it's a tour where we get to play up at local opposition overseas, and that's one of the huge benefits, I think, of having a tour and going on the sports tour. It's a tour where we're going to experience lots of different things. So we're going to be doing water sports, we're going to be team building, we're going to be doing beach sports such as beach volleyball and rounders and different things where they're going to be trying different things. Why did we pick Barcelona? Well, it means that we could get to go experience the Olympic Village when we're there. The weather should be fantastic. It should be just about right, early enough in the summer that it won't be too hot, but we'll be guaranteed nice weather, which is a completely different experience playing sport in that sort of environment. We also think that it's renowned for its sport and somewhere with a bit of culture that the children will really benefit from. I think going on the sports tour is a huge thing at sort of a prep school and a senior school level. I think that unless you are a really keen sportsman, it's one of the only trips that you don't really do when you become an adult. I think, we all go skiing, we all go on different holidays and stuff like that. But sports tours, unless you play for a team as you get older, we sort of lose that sort of team connection. And so it's fantastic. Every single one I've been on, the kids have had an absolute blast. They have so much fun. We really work on making sure everyone's included. Everyone gets a game, everyone gets a fair crack at absolutely everything. And if there's something they don't like, then that's okay. They don't have to participate in that. They can sit back and relax and spend some time with their friends. From a sort of department perspective, and because we are on a long coach journey, we are actually probably the most relaxed when it comes to electronics. So I tend to say that if they want to bring an iPad and a phone and stuff, they're free to do that. What I do say is if there's a SIM card in it and they are texting and stuff like that, the bill and stuff like that, we will try and make sure they don't use it too much. And then we make them hand their phones in at sort of 8 p.m. at night just before we start going to bed, and so they all hand their phones in so they won't have it over the evening. And then if they want it back during the day, then we do open that back up for them to have during the day. But we'd appreciate it if you turned off the roaming and things like that, and so we don't have any issues with that. But other than that, we like to let them, because that we have it at years 7 to 10, we think they're old enough to sort of trust on that way, and especially it gives them a bit of chance to have a bit of downtime as well. Spending money, so obviously we're going to be travelling up over on the coach, and so if they want to take money to spend on food, feel free to allow that. And when we go to Barcelona, if they're going to the Olympic Village and the different water sports, again, I'll set a sort of cap on what I think they should take, but we will collect it all in when we go. So as we get on the bus, all parents will have hopefully given us the spending money before we go, so we'll have that, so we don't have that as we're getting on the bus. And then any medication and stuff you'll hand over on the time as we're getting on. Some people have asked about revision, because it is the May half term, and we do have common entrance and we do have other exams coming up and end of year exams. On the tour, we're quite lucky that we've got a nice widespread of staff members, so the whole of the games department will be going, and then we've got Mr. Messina, Mrs. Richardson, Mrs. Phillips, potentially Dr. Carlin, and a few others. So we've got all the bases covered from English through to science, maths, and all the sort of core subjects. So we'll give them opportunities within that schedule. It is pretty full on and they are going to do lots of things, but if there is people that are wanting to revise, we will make sure that there's the facilities to do that whilst there. Then when we're abroad, we're quite lucky with the staff that we've got going. Dr. Carlin is a first aid trainer. Me, Miss Stoneman and Mr. Ty are fully qualified lifeguards, so all the medical care and medical side of it is as well catered for as you could ever imagine. There will be a banker, I always call them the banker, who will be in charge of making sure all the kids' money is kept safe and then handing them out spending money that they want to take each day, and so that they don't just take £100 and then go spend it all on sweets. And then, and that's like kind of about it. So things that we sort of need to still happen is some pupils haven't chosen what sports they want to do, so we let them choose between the football and the netball, and preferences for sort of kayaking and paddleboarding and that side of it. So we'll sort of chase that up as we go. Reference points for you. So because we left it open, and as you know, we opened it up sort of back in May, June time, so that the new parents and new pupils and gave everyone opportunity. We actually pushed back the initial first deposit to the 1st of October, which is £100, but because of that, it means that the second deposit comes up quite quickly, and that's on the 29th of October, which is £250, and then on the 11th of February, the last settling is £300. Now, for this one particularly, I don't tend to like to do fundraising or things like that. I think it's one of the tours that it's not so much about that side of it, and so we won't be doing any of that. But there may be a time where we're deciding we're probably going to get some shirts and things like that made. There may be a case where I might say, if you could help and pay £10 about that, might come up, but we're hoping to sort of cater for all that within it. Other than that, that's kind of me done. I hope I've answered the majority of people's questions. There's probably a couple actually that I didn't. So COVID and cancelling and anything changes on that, the Housebury insurance that we're booking it through covers up to everything. So anything that changes sort of between the 30 days going up, we get a full refund, or we can rebook. If there's someone that gets COVID while we're away, they will help support us and provide us with the facilities to look after them, and the cover, and all your sort of traditional medical emergencies and stuff are all covered within that. It is a full board tour, so all food and drinks covered, and so they get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yeah, overall, I can't say how great a time we'll have. It's all the kids that go before. If you just ask around, they've all got sort of had an absolute blast. So if anyone's got any questions, that's sort of the bulk of the information, I think. And so open to questions. If you there's a question in the chat which I'll answer, but if you raise your hand on the screen or type a question into chat, I'll try and answer it for you. So one of the questions is, where is the hotel stay? Where will we be staying at? Is it's in the Costa Brava, and there's actually two choices of hotel that we choose that they decide between. So the exact hotel we've got, I couldn't give you the exact answer to that, but as and when the itinerary and the exact numbers come out, we will confirm the exact place we're staying at for you. So because at the minute we've got 90 children coming, the ratio is 1:8, so there'll be 11 staff members at the minute, and then if that ratio of the more come, then obviously there'll be more teachers coming. So there's 11 staff going at the minute. An interesting one, so can parents come and watch? Yes, feel free, but what we tend to say is that we won't book it, you can't book it through us, but when we tell you what hotel we're staying at, you feel free to do that. We can then tell you where the matches will be played, and depending on the numbers, we might even be able to take you on the coach to go to the matches and the venues and the different things like that. But we do tend to say, when we're doing the sort of team building stuff and the bowling nights and stuff like that, we try to say, you go out, you have your own fun, you go do your own thing, and sort of let the kids intermingle with each other so that they can have their own time. From that, then, if you want to, they don't have to travel back with us. If you want to then take them and carry on with your own travels, then you're more than welcome to do that. Matches, so someone's asked if there'll be mixed age group. At the minute, the numbers are quite high, and so in theory, we should be able to stick to what we tend to do is an under 13 team and an under 15 team, and then we do a and a B, depending on how many people are going or what teams we're playing. It might be a mix of abilities. It all kind of depends, once we talk to the tour company, what they are offering. So we won't mix year 7s with year 10s. It will literally be under 15 and under 13. The netball might be slightly different in that, depending on what we play, we might play some inter-school tournaments where the year 7s and the year 10s might play in that situation when we're doing some training and things like that. How many kids we're taking at the minute? It's at 89, 90, and there's still, 23rd of September, sort of another week or so to go, and there's probably 5 to 10 people that were waiting to decide. Total cost of the trip is £650, and so that's the total. And then if we maybe asked to pay for a shirt, then we'll let you know. And how do you pay through that? So there's normally, if you go on to Engage, it'll tell you pay through Bax on the online system, and the last payment, if you wish, can be added to your bill, and the bursary team will send you out reminders of paying. So rooms and how a room's shared out. So what we tend to do, because we want them to have an enjoyable time, the room sizes tend to differ. Sometimes there'll be 2 in a room, and then it can go up to 4 to 6 people. And we ask the kids to, when we get closer to the time, we'll ask the kids to sort of choose 3 children that they get on really well with, that they'd like to room with. And then from that, we sort of pair everyone around, and we try to make sure that they've got at least one person that they really like to room with, and try to make sure that is the case. They will only ever share with people within their age bracket, so the 7 and 8s, and then the 9s and 10s. There'll never be any 7s and 9s, or 7s and 10s, or 8s and 9s, etc. As far as currently judged, will they require to have a PCR test before departure? Not that we have been made aware of yet, but again, I can't really answer that because the thing's changing all the time. And so, will they need a PCR test? Potentially, but where we'll be at in 6, 7 months' time, I don't know. We've decided what activities they wish to do. The only thing that we really need you to sort of decide, or the pupils really to decide, is if they want to do football or netball. When we're there, we will get the kids to decide when we go to the sea stuff and the kayaking or the paddleboarding or the beach games. We will get them to decide that when they're out there. But other than that, if we could let us know whether they want to do football or netball, that means when we confirm all the last numbers, we'll know exactly how many footballers we've got, so we know how many fixtures to get, and how many netballers we've got, so we know how many netballers we have to get. I think that's everything. Oh, and then 2 seconds. So what was the last one? Oh, email it to Miss Stoneman. So if they want to know football or netball, they could only email it to Miss Stoneman, or the pupils can pop up to the office and we'll have it written down. For year 9s, is this the last opportunity for them to do a sports tour? In theory, yes, at the minute. So the year 9s will then become year 11s when we come around to do the next one. And so we tend not to ask the year 11s because we think taking them during a GCSE year, I don't think Mr. Hyatt would be particularly impressed with me, however much I would like to. But as I said, because we are trying to get back on keel with a rotation, there might be potentially that we do another one next year, but we'll wait and see on that. It's trying to work out with Miss Green and actually Miss Stoneman, who does the Iceland one, how we're going to get back on that rotation. Will there be a recording of this meeting as I missed the info part? Of course, we will have recorded it. Hopefully we've recorded all of it and we will send that out. The meet point will be at school, so we'll all depart from the puntabout, and so we'll send out the sort of itinerary on that side of it, and when we want you here, we tend to say about 30 minutes beforehand because there's always someone that's late. In fact, I think it was a coach last time that was late, Miss Harrison I think it was, and Miss Stoneman that rolled up late because they got the meet time wrong. We get back on the 3rd of June, and Miss Stoneman's email address, she's going to put into the chat now for you. It's v.stoneman@stedmonds.co.uk. Just let her type that in for you. And then when it comes to sort of things like lists of clothing and equipment and different things like that, we will send that out in time as we get closer to it. We'll tell you what school sport kit they should take. We will tell you what boots, what shin pads, if they want to take weather mats, and we'll produce that list as we sort of get closer to the time. We'll produce a parent pack that we'll give out to you, so you have all the contact numbers of the staff that are on the tour. You'll have contact numbers for other parents potentially that you want to help liaise with, and a list of what students are with which staff and things like that. So we'll give you all that information a little bit closer to the time. We've just got our hands up on the chat. So Mr. Taylor, how can I help?
Yeah, good evening. I know I asked this a couple of weeks back for the benefit of everyone, and I just wanted to verify it again. Obviously, we've got 2 potential children who might go on this tour. Annabelle in year 9, so that's fine. So Annabelle's in year 10. Harriet, though, is in year 8. She's doing common entrance.
Yeah. And
I'm still nervous of someone who's doing her common entrance literally a week after coming back from the sports tour. And then listening to what you said about how many activities they'll be doing on the sports tour, what's your confidence level that they will have any time to do any revision?
So obviously it is full on. There is a lot of different things going on, but we will ensure that we provide those opportunities for them to revise. And I know common entrance is really important to some people, and so for those people during down times, there is going to be plenty of downtimes at different points that we can do it, and so I am confident that we will allow. We also We do have the bus journey. Some people can't read on the bus, but we can do different bits with them on there. And we'll also make sure that we give them the resources and the opportunities. So if there's certain points where it might be that we're having some downtime by the pool, which we'll have there's going to be a point at every single day that we're going to have an opportunity to revise. And if those year 8 students come, and we'll have a list of all those year 8 students, if the parents would like us to, we can build in an hour's revision session and opportunity to revise at least every single day, and I can put that into the itinerary if that is what the parents would like to do. It's something we do have scope for. Do the exams start on the Monday? I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check that in the calendar. And so I'll have to double check that. I don't know it off the top of my head. I'll have to check with Mr. Taylor. But yeah, more than happy to provide those opportunities and have the staff members there to help with that sort of revision. So I hope that answers it to an extent.
It does, thank you. It does.
Okay. Anyone else got anything else? Okay. Well, I hope I've answered everything as best as I can. I hope you're all looking forward to it and as excited as we are as a department. We've got everyone really raring to go, and we've had loads of staff asking to go. I know the kids have a great time. I really thank you for giving the students an opportunity to come. We'll make sure that we provide them with as many different opportunities to do as different things as we can, and we hope that they have as great a time as we hope they do. So yeah, if anyone's got anything else, do feel free to stay around and chat. Otherwise, I hope you all have a lovely evening, and look forward to seeing you all soon.
That's great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.